Beautiful masterclass, beautiful guest. Welcome to you. It's a global PSSM absolute honor to welcome a truly gifted and pioneer presence in the field of spiritual development and psychic awareness, Echo Bodine. She discovered her psychic and healing abilities at 17, and for over 4 decades, she has guided thousands as a gifted clairvoyant, healer, teacher, and ghostbuster. She has been featured on national TV shows like NBC's Today show Beyond with James Van Para and A&E, and was once part of feature on the world's most psychic family. Not only that, she is the founder of the Center for Intuitive Living. Echo has spent her life teaching spiritual development, intuition, healing, and psychic awareness, both in person and online. She has also hosts Enough is Enough on Bold Brave TV. So we welcome a beautiful, beautiful soul, beautiful person, Echo. Thank you, Echo.
Sorry, honey, I'm sitting here talking to you. I didn't realize I was muted. Thank you, honey, for inviting me. This is very special. Very special. So when first there's going to be a meditation, right, honey? Okay.
Yes.
And then I will come and talk about my most favorite subject. Well, my second most favorite subject, intuition. Okay. Okay, honey.
Wonderful.
Okay. Wow.
So, should we start with the Anapana meditation? Anapanasati meditation?
Yeah,
A meditation?
somebody else is going to do that.
Yes.
Okay, good. All right, sweetheart. Then I'll just blank out. Should I blank out? I'll blank out until it's my turn. Okay.
Wonderful. So, dear masters, please close your eyes. Your hands are clasped. Your feet are crossed. And be aware of your breath. Your in breath. Your out breath. Keep observing your breath. And if your mind wanders, gently come back to your breath. Ana means in breath. Apana means out breath. Sati means to be with it. To be with your in breath and out breath. Is Anapana Sati meditation. Just be with your breath, masters. Dear Masters, now gently bring your hands, your fingers on your eyes for 5 seconds. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. Gently open your eyes. Thank you, Masters. Thank you so much for this meditation, for the wonderful energies. And to our Master, guest speaker, Echo, a beautiful, beautiful Master. We would love to hear from you. Over to you.
You, honey. Okay. Here we go. When we were all created, God, you know, we have to remember God is an energy. All right. God took a part of itself and put it inside each of our souls. Okay. And what was that little light? It's a light. That is, you can think about it like GPS. It's like a walkie-talkie between us and God. And that light has been in our soul since the minute, the second that we were created. Now, when we were first created, we relied on that inner knowing all the time, all the time. But then what happened is, as we became educated, we started focusing just on our brain, not on that light anymore. And what happened was that even though that light inside of us keeps talking to us, I guess I'll say we've learned to listen to this voice up here in our head. Okay. Well, the bummer is that what we really need to know every day is guidance from within. That's right. If we could wake up every morning and just ask the light, ask God, whatever you call God. A lot of people don't like the word God, but that's all about religion. Okay, so we're setting aside, excuse my voice. It's been doing this more and more lately. Hold up. Okay. And I just forgot what I was just saying. Okay, you guys, I'm getting older. Sorry, it's keeps happening. Anyway, this voice has continued to talk to us forever, guides us. That's the purpose of it, is to guide us, to warn us, to uplift us. Okay. And the problem, and we have a couple problems when it comes to intuition. Our head wants to be the boss. Okay. Our intellect, our ego wants to be the boss and doesn't give any credit to this voice, this still small voice that we have within us. Okay. So when we have a knowing, let's say you're getting ready to go to work and you're just about to walk out the door and something inside of you says sweater, and you think right away, we go to our brain, sweater? It's not going to be cold today. Sweater? I don't need a sweater. Okay. And it's going to say it again, sweater. Why do I need a sweater? Okay. and off you go to work. Okay, and throughout the day, something happens and you need a sweater. That's what it's like. It's like it it knows how our day is going to go, and it wants to help us through the day with making decisions, with letting us know if we're safe, if we're unsafe. Oh boy. It's it's the coolest thing that we have as human beings to get through our lives. And as we all know, life on Earth can be quite a challenge, right? But we do have this voice inside that just loves us and loves to guide us. Okay. All right. So let me go back a few years, 70 to be exact. I was 7 years old. And my mom, oh my gosh, my mom, she always knew stuff, everything really. And I said to her, Mom, how do you always know stuff? And she said, I listen to my intuition. Intuition. I had never heard that before. So, Mom, what is that? And she pointed to my stomach and she said, it's in there. Where? In your stomach. I don't get it. She says, okay, I'm going to teach you how to listen to your intuition. Okay. So for, I don't know how long it took me, but every time I had to make a decision, she would point to my stomach and she would say, well, honey, what does it say? And I go, Mom, my stomach doesn't talk. Mom, I don't know what it says. And she says, okay, all right, okay. And there was an instance, I've never forgotten this because it really taught me to pay more attention. My girlfriend, my neighbor friend, she asked me if I wanted to come over to her house on Friday night for a slumber party. I'm sorry, you guys, gosh. Okay. And so I said, Mom, Debbie wants to know if I can come to her house Friday night for a slumber party. And my mom pointed to my stomach and she said, well, what does it say? I'm 7, right? I want to go have a slumber party. And so, oh gosh. So I said, yes, it says yes. Okay. I had no idea what it said, but I said yes. So I went to the slumber party and I was there for maybe half an hour, 45 minutes. And I couldn't, I didn't want to be there. I wasn't in the mood. So I called my mom. I asked her if she would come and get me. She said yes. She came and got me. And the first thing she said was, honey, what did your intuition say about tonight? I was like, Mom, I don't know. And she said, your intuition knew that you would not be happy once you got here. And so your intuition probably said no. Well, okay, so again, I'm 7. I'm trying to figure this out. My stomach is talking to me. Okay. And I would sit and wait for it to talk to me until I started to realize it's pretty quiet in there. And my mom, she never explained it any other way. And back then, my dad called it, oh, it's that women's intuition thing. Okay, so it was a thing women had. Um, okay. And so I just assumed, okay, It's just this quirky little thing that women have. Okay. Well, grow up, and I was becoming more and more aware of a knowing inside. And there was always this tug of war between my intuition and my head, because my head would always rule. And yet, what I started to see was, if my intuition said, don't go there, don't do that, and I went ahead and did it anyway, I would always see why. Oh, huh. How did that thing, that voice, I don't normally sound like this. I sound like a goat, for goodness sakes. Okay. So how did this women's intuition thing always know stuff? And she never said it was the voice of God. She never said anything. It was just women's intuition. Okay. So when I was in my 30s, I was studying to be a unity minister, and I was taking a class at church. And the book that we were reading said that God's voice is within us, but it's silent. And you guys, I sat there just like, wait a minute. God's voice is inside of me, and it's silent? Wait. So I raised my hand and I asked my minister, I said, okay, is intuition the same as God's voice? And my minister said, yes, it is. So I said, wait a minute. This isn't just a women's thing. He said, no, men have it too. And my minister said, that's what intuition is. It's God's voice. Although God's voice is a still small voice. You guys, my whole world changed that night. It's like, wait a minute. Why didn't somebody tell me this earlier? And I really started to pay attention to it at that point. I mean, he went on to explain that God gave us this inner voice to guide us. And I learned a lot in that class. And my intuition was the one that actually told me not to become a unity minister, that I already had my work cut out for me. And so I didn't go to school to learn more. But ever since then, I have just, it's like I have paid so much attention to this in here. And I've gone through the fighting with it. What? Okay. Here's an example. And it's such a silly example, but I was at the grocery store one time and I was standing in line and I was almost at the cashier, and my intuition, my inner voice said, butter. And I silently said to my intuition, I have butter. Butter. I have butter. Now, why do I argue with it, right? Why? Why do we argue with it? Okay. So I didn't get the butter. And I went home. I looked in the refrigerator. I had butter. I thought, oh, I guess you were wrong. Okay. And it wasn't 5 minutes later, my neighbor knocked on my door, told me she was having company and she forgot to buy butter at the store. And could she borrow whatever butter I had? Yes, you can. And so I gave her my butter. All right. And I wasn't out of butter. And now I was out of butter. So I've learned over the years by not listening to it that it's real. It's really real. So now the way I live my life is not to wake up in the morning and go right to my head and say, well, okay, what should we do today? I go right to my intuition for guidance. And I ask, what should I do today? Now, what I do at the end of the day, I sit on the side of my bed with a tablet and a piece of, and a pen, and I think, okay, what would I like to accomplish tomorrow? And I write all these things down. And then when I wake up in the morning, I look at my list and I ask my intuition, okay, which of these things should I do? And I've also learned something very important, and that is ask about the timing. Okay, so I'll ask my intuition, what order should I do these tasks in? It's it's been fascinating, you guys, because my head will say, well, we should go here and here and here to save gas. That'll just be along the way. And okay, but my intuition will say, okay, go here and then go here, which to my logical sense doesn't make any. So you want me to drive over there and then go over there and then go over there? Yes. Okay. But what I've learned every time is that there's a reason why I should do certain things at certain times. It's often because, oh, I might run into someone that I haven't seen for a long time. And then I go over here and, oh my gosh, I run into a sale. Oh my gosh, it's just fantastic. So I buy the things I want to get. And then I go over here and there's no line where there usually is a line. I just get right in. Okay. And okay, here's another example. Election day. Oh boy, election day. So usually on election day, you just plan to go to the lines, bring a book, and spend 45 to an hour in the lines waiting to pick your candidate. Okay. So what I've learned is I've asked my intuition. Okay, I have to go outside and paint the garage. So would you please tell me when to go and vote? Okay, I'll listen to you. And so all day, I'm tuned in to down here, and it'll just say, go now. Oh, go now? Right now? Go now. Okay, so I come in the house and wash the brush and get in the car, head on over. There's no one in line. And every time I do that, the lady says, wow, you just missed a huge crowd. Good timing. So it'll help us with everything. It'll let us know, you know, I think about 9/11 and I heard a story about a lady who she worked up on the 56th floor and her intuition told her to go to Starbucks to get coffee. And she thought, she even said to her intuition, I just made a pot of coffee. go to Starbucks. I just made a pot of coffee. Go to Starbucks. Okay. And so she went down, all the way down the building, and she went across the street to the Starbucks, and that's when the planes hit the buildings. Okay. And I think about all the people. Again, I heard another story about a lady who said that she woke up that morning to go to work on the 56th floor. And she said her intuition told her, don't go to work today. And she thought, I have to go to work today. We've been planning that meeting for weeks. Don't go to work today. She said the whole time she was getting dressed, don't go to work today. Well, at the last minute, she had a feeling, a knowing, I don't think I am supposed to go to work today. And so she didn't. And she's alive today. She works on the 56th floor also. So the issue that all of us have with intuition is that it's a still small voice. Huh. Which means what? Which means it's not a vocal voice. It's not a human voice that we hear. And I asked my angel friend one time, how can I describe intuition to people? And she said, it's like your stomach is having a thought. What do you think about that one? Your stomach is having a thought. Okay. So, how do you know? That's one thing I hear all the time from people. And this is what they do. They'll say, Echo, how do I know if it's my head talking or my intuition talking? And I say, you just answered your own question. If the information came from up here, that's your thinking. You're thinking of what you should do. If it comes from in here, that's a knowing. And that's how you can tell is how you're talking about it. Okay. If you hear yourself saying, I just know this is what we should do. And people around you might say, well, that doesn't make much sense. Yeah, I know it doesn't make sense to the mind, but it's a knowing inside. And I have to follow the knowing. Okay. That's the best way that I can describe to you how to hear it is when you say, and you want to pay attention, when you say, I just know this is what we should do. And it's not based on facts. It's not based on what's going on up here. Because your head interferes a lot. Your head, again, like I said earlier, your head wants to be in charge. Yeah, it wants to call the shots. And so it doesn't like being replaced with a still small voice. But what you can do is tell your mind, okay, look, the two of you can work together. So the intuition can inspire you with a thought, with an idea, and then you take it to your mind. Okay. And you say, okay, wow, I just got the coolest idea to, I don't know, do something, anything. So you need to help me figure out how to do it. See, that's how it's supposed to work. We get inspiration from in here. We bring it up here to our mind, our brain, and we say, okay, I just got inspiration to do this and this. Will you help me put it together? See, That's how we're supposed to be living our lives. But we've got it mixed up after many, many, many centuries of getting more education, also paying attention to how other people live their lives. This is a challenge for us human beings, but we can do it. And I can guarantee you, if you can learn to listen to that still small voice, life gets so much easier, right? Even the tough stuff, the tough, really tough decisions you need to make. Okay, that's another thing, is that when we ask intuition, and what I do is I talk to my inner voice all the time. That's my best friend, that's my guide, it's my inner knowing, it's God within me. And so I'll ask it, even if I'm going, oh yes, okay. I have friends here. They're invisible, but I have friends here. And they remind me when I'm giving a talk, okay, you forgot to talk about this. It's like, oh, okay. So, all right. When you get an answer of no, okay, no, it doesn't mean you're being denied. Remember that. Okay, here's an example. I was out looking for a dress for a particular occasion. And I went into this one store and I saw a dress I really liked. It was pretty expensive. And I asked my intuition, what do you think? No. And of course I felt bad and I wanted to pretend like it said yes. But I mean, after a while, the voice gets so loud in your whole being that you know better. So I said, okay. And I walked out and I had this knowing, this pulling to go that way in the shopping mall. And so I did. I went that way and oh, there was another dress shop. And I went in and oh my gosh, there was the dress, the same dress I saw, and it was half price. And I mean, I almost heard my intuition laughing. And I said, okay, can I get that one? Yep. Okay. So when we get the answer no, you're not being denied. It usually means there's something better. Okay, now let's talk about emotions, because we carry a lot of our emotions in this part of our body. Don't ever forget this. Intuition is not emotional. It doesn't have emotion. Okay, it's a yes or a no. Sometimes it'll say later. Oh gosh. So if you, okay, here's an example. A student of mine emailed me absolutely in a panic. She said her intuition is freaking out, telling her that her daughter is going to die in a car accident on her way home from school. And I said, intuition doesn't freak out. No, intuition is not emotional. So that is your fear. Your fear is coming through. So that's an important key for all of us to remember, because we get emotional about a lot of things, right? And okay, we need to stay with the calmness. So if you do get, okay, here's another one for you. So I was driving on my way to the doctor one day, and I said to my intuition, will you please help me remember everything that I want to talk to the doctor about? And I heard, no. I said, wait, no, you won't help me? Accident. What? Accident. I'm going to have an accident? And it didn't say anything anymore. So, okay, so I said to my intuition, I am not going to have an accident. And I was vigilant about watching every car in front of me and did not pay attention to the guy behind me who was drunk and drove right into me. Okay. And I did not get to the doctor's that day. Now, you might ask yourself, well, now, if you heard the word accident, why didn't your intuition protect you? Okay. In that case, that car accident actually changed my life for the better. Not right away. I was in the hospital for 10 days, blah, 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 blah. Went through a lot of things because of that car accident, but in the end, it changed my life completely to a much better life. Okay. So it was something I needed to experience, and intuition was simply giving me information. That's what it does. It gives us information, and it's up to us to trust it. Okay. And that's a really important piece to remember, because we carry all of our emotions in here. And I tell you, so what I would recommend is starting out slow. Just start out slow and pay attention. That's all. Just pay attention. Now, once I realized that this was the voice of God within me, I really took it seriously. And I was determined. And I remember asking God many times, please help me with this, because my brain just wants to take over all the time. And so, I don't know. Sometimes I wonder, is it my imagination, or has it gotten louder? It seems to me that it's now to the point where I hear it really clearly. The other thing about intuition that makes it difficult for us humans to pay attention is that it never explains to us why it says no, or why it says accident, or why it says go to Starbucks for coffee when she's just made a pot of coffee. Okay. It does not tell us why. And that's the other reason why we get so confused with it. Or, no, I want to say a different word, frustrated with it, because it'll say no. Just like when I was in the grocery line that day and it said butter. And I said back, mental telepathy, I have butter. It didn't say, well, your neighbor's going to come by in about 20 minutes and ask you to borrow all the butter that you have. No, it doesn't say that. It says butter. Okay. So you have to watch that also. Become aware of, okay, it just tells me what I need to know. And it doesn't tell me why, which is where faith comes in. Blind faith comes in. So it is a challenge for us. Every day it is. But once you get the hang of it, wow, it just becomes second nature to just immediately assume you're going to get the answers in here, down in here. Okay. Women use the phrase knowing. I just know this is what we're supposed to do. Men use the expression gut. My gut tells me this is what we should do. Okay. It's that simple. It's that simple. So you want to remember that you can test it out too. There's so many different stories I could share with you, but the main thing, I think I've said all the main things about intuition. You can also ask God or the universe to please clear your mind so that you can hear your inner voice more clearly. Okay. So in the beginning, it might be kind of quiet. It's a quiet little voice in the beginning, but now really it's like like, oh, I have to use the word knowing. I just know things. Trying to think, the two things. Okay, when I was teaching a live intuitively class, and we would go around a circle every week, and I would say, okay, how did you do this week? Did you listen to your intuition, or did you not listen? And what I noticed was that 80% of them were saying, well, I didn't listen. All right. And I would say, and was there a reason for that? Well, I don't know. My head didn't agree with it. Oh, okay. All right. Or they would say, well, I don't know. I don't know. I just didn't do what it told me to. Okay. Well, then I put two and two together and realized what they were saying to me is that they didn't trust it. And that's very common when it comes to intuition. And again, why is that? Well, a couple reasons. One is that people have an issue with God. They don't like God. They're mad at God. They don't even want to hear the word God. Okay, that's fine. Call it Charlie. Call it whatever you want. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. But what it does is it brings up issues that people have with God. All right. So in the beginning, when you're working on this, you might become aware of anger that you have towards God, just a general mistrust. Okay. And what you can do is ask God to say, please help me get over this hump, this block that I have about trusting you. Okay. Something that I recommend to all of my students is to sit down with a paper and pencil, or nowadays do it on the computer, and just write out all your thoughts when you think of the word God. Okay. Anger. Okay, that's good. That's good. Hatred. That's fine if that's what comes up. You want to clear that. You want to clear that so that you're able to realize how much God actually loves you and wants to guide you through your life, through your journey. Okay. So if you find you're blocked, then do that. Okay. All right. I got another fun story for you. This one I love. I used to have a radio show here in Minnesota, and it was called Living Intuitively, I think. No, Intuitive Living. There. It's been a while. And people would call in. It was on a Saturday night. People would call in, and we had what's called the Yeah But Club. So there was the people that listened to their intuition, and the people that said to their intuition, yeah, but I don't want to do that. Okay. So we would have people call in, and they would tell us these great stories of, their intuition told them to do this and they did that. Or other people who would say, well, my intuition told me to do this, but I said, yeah, but I don't want to do that. So, okay. So it was Christmas, the week of Christmas. And a lady called in and said, I belong to the Yeah But Club this week. And we said, okay, what happened? And she said she was at Target. I don't know if you have Target there in India, but it's a big discount store here. And she walked by a Barbie doll, and her intuition told her to get it. And she said, she said silently to her intuition, I have 3 boys. Why would I want that? No. Intuition, buy that. No, I'm not going to buy it. Okay. So she went home, phone rang. It was her sister who has a daughter. Her sister says, there's this one Barbie that's really hard to find. They're sold out everywhere. If you find her, please buy her. And the lady said, oh my God, I just saw that Barbie at Target. And she said, I'll go back and get it. Well, she got in the car, she went back, and it was gone. And she said, I've just been beating myself up all week. I just feel so bad. Why didn't I trust it? Well, because logically, she doesn't have any girls. So, of course. All right. So the next lady that called in said, well, I listened to my intuition. Okay, tell us your story. She says, well, I was at Target shopping for my 2 boys. And she said, I walked by this one Barbie doll and my intuition said, get it. And she said, I started to laugh. I thought, why would I get a Barbie doll? Get it. Okay, I'll get it. And she bought it. She said, so tell the lady that called before me that I will drop it off at the radio station this week for her. Oh my God, what a great story. It all ended up just fine. Okay, all right. So it's stuff like that. It's fun. Intuition makes life fun because you never know when it's going to say something and you never know what it's going to say, but it's always got your best interest at heart. Always. Okay. Always. And, I think about all the people that are in relationships and then they get out of the relationship and then they get back in the same relationship. I think it's because they didn't ask their intuition. Is it okay if I leave now? Because their intuition would have said, not yet. That's how it was when I was married to my ex-husband. I knew we had finished what we came together to do. And I knew that we weren't meant to be together forever. But I didn't know the perfect timing. And I would ask, okay, is it okay to leave now? No, not yet. Okay. And we'd be in it for a little while. And then I'd ask again, now? No, not yet. Okay. And then one morning I woke up and the voice, the silent voice said, okay, you're done with this relationship. You can move on. Okay. So with that, I want to say that in the beginning, when you start talking to it, it just says quick little yes or no, kind of build up your trust in it. And then after a while, it gives you full sentences, all right? And you come to rely on that inner voice so much. And that's exactly why it's there, to give you the guidance that you need to get through your life in as pleasant a time as possible. Okay? It will always guide you. It knows your life plan. It knows what you came here to experience. So it's not going to get Thank you. It's not going to get boring ever, ever. No, but you're going to see after a while, wow, I really can trust this. I really can rely on this, because intuition knows the future for you. It does. It knows what's coming for you. And your head doesn't. Your head can try to figure out the future, but your intuition knows the future. You know what I've learned to do with timing? Timing is very important. We plan family get-togethers months in advance. A lot of people do. Okay, but what I've learned intuitively is to ask intuition, when is the right time to have the family picnic, to have the family get together? And you know what, guys? I've even learned, I don't have a calendar in front of me, but what I do is, okay, so let's say my family calls and says, hey, let's have a family get together this summer. Okay, so I say, I'll get back to you. So I look at a calendar, I look at June, I say, okay, should we get together in June? No. Wow, okay. What about July? Yes. Okay. What about August? No. Oh, back to July? Yes. Then what I do is I look at each week. This week? No. This week? No. This week? Yes. Next week? Eh. Okay. So then I'll call the family and tell them to pass the word that we're going to meet up on the Saturday or Sunday of the third week in July. The weather is always perfect. And the other weeks, it was too hot to get together, or it was too rainy to get together. Okay. Now, this was maybe 2-3 months before we even got to summer. But intuition knows. It knows as far as when to plan anything in the future. It knows. That's why we want to get used to living intuitively that way. It knows everything. Honestly, it knows everything. It's like the coolest thing that we have got going for us as human beings. Just the absolute coolest. That light inside gets bigger and brighter, and we hear it more clearly, and we trust it so much more as we go along. I can't even tell you. The thing is, too, it's free. We don't have to pay a dime for this. And it's always accurate. Now, sometimes you're going to ask a question and you're not going to get any answer. And what I have found that to mean is just go ahead and do whatever seems right, whatever you want to do. It doesn't matter. Okay. So don't panic if you're asking a question about something and nothing comes. Well, I want to say 2 things about that. Nothing comes, give it a day or 2, and that might change. Okay. All right. And the other thing is, again, just do what you want to do. All right. Okay. Now it's 11:40. Oh, 12:40. Nope, there it's. Oh my gosh, you guys, you're up late, right? It's nighttime there, right? Here I'm thinking it's morning time for you guys. Okay, I'm going to go to your questions now. It says there's 8 questions. Of course, you're very welcome. All right, let's see. This beautiful opportunity. Okay, very nice. Thank you. Jump to the latest. Okay, how to differentiate between our gut telling us and our mind telling us. Okay, again, if it's coming from here, that's your mind. If it's coming from here, that's your gut. Okay, so pay attention to where did that just come from? Where did that guidance just come from? Okay, up here, it's your thinking. Is it your thinking? That's your mind. Gut, that's your gut. That's your intuition. When people are emotional, we're not thinking logically and can feel like we're not following our head, but feelings. But it doesn't seem to be the true voice. How do you prep yourself to receive the true intuition? Just everything that we've just talked about, honey, it's okay. What you have to do is you retrain yourself from always thinking up here to focusing down here also. Ask your intuition. Is there anything you have to say about this? Is there anything I should know about this? Okay. And again, the thing about intuition is it doesn't answer us that fast. Okay. Sometimes it takes a while to answer us. So one thing about living intuitively, you definitely need to be patient. All right. Then after a while, like I said, it gets easier. Oh, good. Okay. Can intuition be trained, learned, improved? For example, for someone who doesn't study Bible or religion, or someone whose principles are still being shaped by parents and peers, does intuition always give the best advice? Yes, intuition always gives the best advice. Always. Something I want you to also remember, it will never lie to you. Never lie to you. Okay. Yes, you can be trained. Well, it says, can intuition be trained? Honey, intuition doesn't have to be trained. We're the ones that have to be trained. And yes, it always improves. Your communication with intuition always improves. Okay. And you know, okay, I want to make sure I didn't jump ahead. Oh, good, thank you. What's the difference between oh, geez, I really skipped down. Oh, gosh. Okay, let me. Oh, good. Oh, good. Good, good. Okay. Wow, it really jumped ahead. Sorry, guys. Good. Thank you, Daksha. I'm glad. I hope I'm not mispronouncing your names. Okay. What are the prerequisites for hearing intuition? I feel that the mind needs to be decluttered and actively listening. Otherwise, the voice of intuition gets drowned out by mental chatter. That is correct. Often we're physically in one place, but our minds are somewhere else. If we're not fully present, it can be difficult to recognize or trust that intuitive voice. Okay, let's go back up to the beginning of that. The prerequisites for hearing intuition, I think we've covered that. It's about retraining yourself to listen down here. This is where the truth is, down here. If you're having a conversation with someone and they're not telling you the truth, your intuition will let you know. Okay, you will know, ooh, there's something not right here. Something's off. Okay, remember that, your intuition. Prerequisite, really, guys, just visualize my mom standing next to you, always pointing to your stomach and saying, well, what does your tummy say? Okay, that's what you want to do. That's what you want to do. Okay, let's see. Good, good. Thank you. Thank you. You're welcome. When I think of someone getting into an accident, how do I know if it's coming intuitively or from fear? Well, Shalani, I hope I didn't slaughter your name. Honey, if you feel fearful, fear is just terrible. It just loves to mess with us. So what I do is I just ask God, please clear this fear from me, and let me know the truth. I want the truth of the situation. Our head can't give us the truth because it doesn't know the truth of everybody involved. It doesn't. It's there to help you get through life, but only what's in front of you. Okay. And intuition, it sees it all. So if you're feeling fearful about something, ask God, ask the universe, please clear this fear from me so that I can know if this is accurate or not. It can take a while. With fear, fear is just a menace, an absolute menace to us moving forward. So if it's fear you're dealing with, just tell the fear to go away. Just go away. And ask the universe to clear you of fear, of any emotion that is getting in your way. Okay. Ask it to be cleared. You might have to do that a few times. But if you're sincere and you really want it cleared, it will clear. Okay. Oh, you're welcome, Neetha. Okay. I read your book. And after that, I truly understood the soul's journey. Good. I'm glad. It was the first book I ever read about the soul's journey. Before that, I used to be very scared of darkness. But after reading Echoes of the Soul, I overcame that fear. I am so glad and deeply grateful. Well, I am very grateful to read that. Thank you, honey. I am very glad. I hate fear. I hate it. I absolutely hate it. And I don't hate anything. Well, no, I don't hate anything, just fear. When you get an intuition for something not so pleasant, can you change the future by positive thinking? Oh, that's funny. All right. So if you're getting an intuition about something not so pleasant, it could be part of your life plan that you go through that experience. Now, what I would do if intuition told me about something unpleasant is I would ask it 2 or 3 times. Are you sure this is what I should do? Okay, because my head might be thinking, ooh, that's going to be a really bad experience. But intuition knows the truth about it. So ask if it's fear, first of all. Ask your mind, ask the universe to clear your mind. And don't assume that you know how it's going to go. Okay. Now, if intuition is pushing you into what might be an unpleasant experience, it's doing that for a reason, according to your life path. Okay? Okay. Don't fight it. Just ask it for any guidance it can give you about that. Okay. Remember, intuition is your best friend. It is. It's your best friend. And so it's not going to try to put you into bad situations just for the heck of it. No. It's going to look for a good experience for you. And that's why you want to learn to trust it. And again, if it's a bad experience, I'll give you an example. Okay. I met a man. I was having an open house at my teaching center. And a man came in one day, knocked my socks off. He was so handsome. And I, I was speechless. Okay. And he left. And later on that night, he emailed me. I was like, whoa, wanted to know if I wanted to have coffee. My intuition was like, yes. Okay, I'll have coffee. We went out for coffee. Oh, that was very pleasant. All right. And then he said, would you like to go out next week for coffee? Yes, I would. Okay. So we went out next week for coffee. He asked me to marry him. And I said, yes. My intuition shouted, yes. And he said, did you say yes? I said, yes. Okay. My whole family, all of my friends, everybody said to me, are you nuts? I said, intuition said to say yes. This is something I know I need to do. Okay. So I was in the room. Oh, we got married. And within like 5 minutes, not really, but within a day, I knew, this isn't what I thought it was going to be. We ended up getting a divorce 10 minutes late, 10 months later. Okay. I remember intuition. I was asking my intuition throughout the whole thing. Really? Really? I should be in this? Yes. Okay. So I do my best. I put my heart and soul into it, but we were two completely different people. And I said to my intuition, okay, just let me know if a time comes when I can be done with this. All right. One morning I woke up and it said, you're done. You can leave this marriage. Okay. So I went and told my husband, and he said, okay. And we went and got a divorce. We went down to the courthouse, holding hands, got a divorce. Okay. I felt so relieved when we were divorced. Oh my gosh, you guys. But it had to do with karma. And several times throughout my life, when I would do a past life regression, I would always see this one past life. And I always thought, why do I always see that? I don't know. Well, when I was married to him, I started seeing the past lives, that past life again. And I went, oh my God, this is exactly what we had before, only it was reversed. And I needed to end that relationship in a very loving way. Okay. So it was an experience. For quite a while, I didn't understand why my intuition felt that it was so important. I mean, who says after 2 dates, hey, you want to get married? Sure. But my soul knew I had to do that to finish the karma with him. And I did. Okay. And like I said, intuition knew how long I could be in it. And then when I could get out, when I had completed it. All right. So if your intuition is pushing you into something that you think might not be so good, don't worry about it. There's a reason for it. And whatever it is, it'll end quickly. Okay. Okay. I had a thought once, which I felt coming from my mind clearly. It was like someone talking to me in mind. I went ahead and followed the thoughts regarding a project, and it was very successful. Please enlighten on this. Well, honey, that could have been God talking you directly. It could have been one of your spirit guides. We all have guides with us, and they speak to us in our minds. So yes, in a case like that, if somebody clearly told me something, I would immediately go to my intuition and say, what do you think about this? My intuition in that case would have said yes. I would have gone ahead with it. Perfect. Okay. The head and the gut, the head and that still small voice inside need to work in a partnership. Okay. They do. They need to work in a partnership. So just watch it, how it all works. When you get an idea up here, you go to your intuition and ask, is this a good idea? Or is this not a good idea? I need you to talk to me. I always, guys, when someone asks me to do something, when someone throws an idea at me, I always tell them, I need some time to check this out intuitively. And people now are used to me saying something like that. I don't just say a yes right away or a no right away. I did with my ex. That one just came out of my mouth, to tell you the truth. They need to work together. So take time. Even if people don't like it, that you're going to take time to listen intuitively, that's being very smart, very wise. Okay. Okay. Now let's see. Okay. I experienced something yesterday and would like to share it and know if it is intuition or what. Okay. Okay. Is the inner voice the same as the voice of the universe? Yes. Yes. Means the universal realm, something is within our access. Yes. You described 7 levels of experience and mentioned being denied access to the higher ones. Yes. Have you ever attempted to reach those levels again? If so, is there anything from that journey you feel inspired to share? I have not. No. You know why I can't access 5, 6, or 7? Because my mind, my human mind is limited in what it can take in. Okay. Our soul has an understanding of levels 5, 6, and 7. 7, I can, no, I can't. I was just going to say I can tell you a little about it, but you know what? I really can't. I know that on the 7th level, we all understand our oneness with each other and our oneness with God. And we live in bliss. But you see, our limited human mind doesn't even really know what that means. So I think that's why they've only allowed me to know about levels 1 through 4. Okay. I'm sorry, I can't. Oh, you're so welcome. Thank you. You're very welcome. Intuition is always right, supporting soul lessons to step into one's evolution. That is correct. That is correct. Oh my gosh, I just looked at the clock. Class is over. Oh my gosh. Wow. Okay, I see a little yellow hand here. Go ahead, honey. I'd pronounce your name, but I know I would mess it up.
Baljeet. Well, first of all, thank you so much, Master,
You're
for
welcome.
sharing your wisdom. I will not take long, but I just want to ask something has been happening to me lately. If I will discuss something with my friend and I will see somebody else discussing exactly same topic the next day. So yesterday, what happened? I used to have plants in the house, but they will never do very well. But lately, for last couple of years, I have named my plants. I hug them. I talk to them, and they're doing great.
Okay. Yeah.
So yesterday after breakfast, we always eat banana. Always throw away the peel. As I'm throwing away the peel, um, um, I don't know something. I said, how can I use? Can this be used for something for my plants? And then I just throw it away.
Okay.
So yesterday evening, my daughter's friend came from San Diego, and we all went out to dinner. And then
Whoops. Honey, something just happened.
mom is also, and you really want to do something good that is really good for your plant, soak your banana peel in water for a couple of days. It gives them potassium, and they do really well. So, is this intuition or what is this? This has been happening to me a lot.
Good. That's really good.
Something that's going to be discussed or going to happen.
Honey, that's excellent. That's really good news.
So I just missed it. My speaker was. So can you please repeat it?
Honey, you were kind of we kind of half heard you and half didn't hear you. But I think at the end, there was something about, but the potassium from the bananas were really good for your plants. Okay, now you're,
I thought of this in the morning, and then in the evening, she told me exactly same thing, that these peels are actually very good for your plants. So how, and this has been happening to me a lot.
okay.
So is this intuition, or how would I know something that is going to be discussed later?
Oh, honey. Well, boy, that could be your intuition, or it could be your own, well, I don't know. What's the word I want to use? I had a word. Now it's gone. Honey, that even could be your psychic abilities, having psychic abilities and having a knowing. Yeah, so I think that's cool. I like the way that worked. That worked out really cool. Yeah, it did. Yeah. Yes, you're welcome. You're welcome. Wow. Well, everybody, I hope it was helpful. I hope you give this a stab, because it is the best way to live ever and always. Okay. It will never let you down. The only bummer is that it does not tell us why it says yes or no. It just answers us quick. And then our job is to trust it. Okay. Got it? All right, you darlings. I wish you the
Wonderful.
best. Wish you the best. All right, here I have to send my little hearts, because they're so sweet. There, aren't they sweet?
Thank
Thank
you,
you.
thank you, thank you so much,
You're
Echo.
welcome.
And we have a lot of healers and psychics here, Radhika, Nandani, they are great psychics. And they have, we loved you and your wisdom. We are so grateful to you.
Thank you, honey.
And yeah, the whole PSSM Global here is indebted to you for the beautiful wisdom we had, and how we can inculcate this, little voice of ours. We can
Yes.
develop it and
Yes.
hear it all the time, that silent voice which we don't trust, but trusting
Yeah.
it more so
I
that it
know.
develops and blooms,
Yes.
right?
Yes. Good.
So wonderful.
Okay. Work on
Yeah.
it. I'll talk
Yeah.
to you next year. Okay. Okay.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank
You're
you so
welcome.
much.
Bye.
Bye. And thank you, dear masters. Thank you for this beautiful session. Thank you for the wonderful energies. Have a wonderful night and a wonderful day. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, Gargi. Thank you, all dear masters here. Such a wonderful, actually, wonderful session today. We enjoyed fully, actually.
Yeah.
Yes.
And I